Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and a viewer sent me a question basically asking my thoughts on calories. Do I pay attention to calorie ratings? How do I keep track of how many calories I'm eating, and how do I make sure I'm getting enough calories to meet the recommended daily whatever that some agency somewhere says that we're supposed to have. So I think some agency somewhere says that we're supposed to have like 2,500 calories or something like that, which is actually a pretty huge amount of calories, honestly. So anyways, these are my thoughts. This is based on personal experience, also based on many years of research. I'm a certified health coach. This is just stuff that I've had my nose to for a long period of time, okay? So calories are basically a way of standardizing, a way of measuring how much energy is in food. But the thing is, energy in food comes in many different forms, and the body gets different amounts of energy from all those different types of food. And also the amount of energy they get is going to be dependent on the specific situation of that individual organism. If that organism is lacking certain enzymes, then there's certain types of calories which they're not going to be able to break down and convert into energy as well. So just that by itself kind of disproves the whole idea of, calories in, calories out. But here's another example. Okay, so people who are overweight can go on calorie restricted diets where they're eating less than 1,000 calories a day, and they're basically working out every single day, and they won't lose the weight. And in some of the cases that I'm aware of, it sort of has to do with basically fungus, like mold in the food that they are eating, or food or fungus or parasitic issues which are going on inside of their own body, which cause that to happen. This is also well known inside of the livestock community. If you want to fatten your animals up, and you're not worried about the health impacts on the animal and also the health impacts on the people who eat the food, the meat that you are going to slaughter, if you feed them a bunch of moldy grains, these animals are going to get fat. So you can feed them the same grains, and the only difference is, are they moldy or not? And these animals who eat the moldy grain are going to get super fat, okay? So again, this disproves calories in, calories out. There's all kinds of other factors. How well is your pancreas working, right? Are you making insulin? Is that insulin working well? How's the messaging going on between the cells? How well are you chewing your food? All these types of things, okay? So calories in food can kind of give you a rough idea of how much energy you're getting from a certain thing, but I don't personally take it very seriously, okay? So, and also there's other sources that we get food from. So this idea that you need to take in a certain amount of food is incorrect. Okay, we actually get energy from light. We absorb light through our skin. We absorb light through our eyes. We absorb light through touching things. If you touch something warm, you're absorbing light. Everything's light, actually. So even just eating the food is absorbing light. But we generally don't think of it that way. It's easier to get someone to think that infrared is light because, it's closer than a sandwich is light, even though it is. So light, basically matter is just light energy at a really high frequency. So when we start getting up into high gamma, like into really high radioactive frequencies, it's just light has a lot of energy to it, to the point where it starts getting to the point where it's almost like a solid object that is hitting you. This is why radiation can cause damage to your DNA, because it actually knocks things out of the way as if they was hit by a projectile. And so you just keep going along that spectrum, and eventually you're going to hit hydrogen, which is just really high energy light, to the point where it's like matter, it's like physical, and then all matter is just compounded hydrogen basically beyond that, okay? So anyways, that was a little bit of a divergence. So how do I make sure that I am getting enough calories? Okay, so I just want to point out something that's important. Like I grew up eating 3 meals a day. I currently only eat 1 meal a day in about a 1 to 3 hour window. and I don't eat anywhere near 2,000 calories. It's probably closer to, it's less than 1,500. And some days it's probably even less than 1,000, but it doesn't matter, because what really matters is whether or not I feel satiated. Okay, so I have gone from a place where I used to eat a lot of food, and I've always been skinny. All my entire life I've always been skinny. People have always seen, they've always looked at me, they're like, oh, Cahlen, you're so skinny. And then they see me eat, and I'm eating like 3 times more food than them. And they're like, what the heck, how are you so skinny? It's just like, it's just the way it is. It's just an individual thing about me. But also, in my own life, I've gone from a place where I used to eat a lot of food and I was super skinny, and now I don't eat very much food, and I'm the same exact weight. Nothing is different. Okay, so I've optimized how I use my energy, and I also think that the lifestyle I was living was stressful. I probably needed more energy, and also probably that energy, a lot of that energy wasn't even getting used. It was just, I wasn't chewing, it wasn't getting digested, it was just passing through me, okay? Okay, so there's that. Within my own life, I've gone from a place of eating lots and lots of calories to not very much, and there's basically no difference. I live on a farm with a guy, Jesse Tree, who drinks. He doesn't eat, he just drinks. He like juices and makes smoothies, and he only has those, 1 hour a day. And that's all. And that's probably well under 1,000 calories, and this guy is way more active than I am. He runs a permaculture business where he goes out and does physical manual labor all day, right? And all kind. He has to run his own garden and all types of stuff. This guy's hugely high energy, and definitely taking in way less calories than anyone else that I know of. And also, well, other than this other guy, who is a guy named Elatam Elamin, who has come to the farm. I did meet him here, was here. He stayed here for 10 days. I wasn't here for the whole 10 days at that time, but he was here for 10 days. And the family who lives here and was here with him the whole time, he never left, didn't see him eat or drink one time. Okay, so he's a breatharian. He does eat and drink sometimes, but way less often than we do. Okay, so it is possible to get to a point where you don't need to take in very many calories from food. And you can get most of your calories from other sources. You can get most of your energy from other sources, okay? Okay, is there anything else I want to say about that? Basically, how do I tell when I've eaten enough? It's kind of the main question. It's just like, do I feel hungry, right? Do I feel like I have enough energy? Do I feel drained? And which is basically never at this point in my life. I don't even really need to eat that much food to feel high energy, but I will get to the point where I feel hungry, right? And so I think hunger is a thing that you can kind of pay attention to, but also keep in mind that hunger and craving can be sometimes hard to distinguish, and the craving is more about addiction to sense, like the enjoyment, the dopamine hit of putting something delicious in your mouth and eating it. So anyways, I hope that answers the question. I'll see you guys later.